Ask Reddit. What is something you are very proud of but can't put on your resume? My body blasting full-blown stage 4 cancer into full remission after just 3 chemo treatments, and keeping it there ever since. I'm really happy about that, but it's just not relevant for a resume. I trained my cat to use the toilet. As a brown hairy guy, I have talked myself out of so many incidents with the police that I honestly deserved a ticket. So I put it down as sales experience. At age 38, now 39, I changed my lifestyle and lost 66 pounds in the last year. I treat my dog real well. I can lick my elbow. That I escaped a physically abusive situation, still suffer from crippling PTSD, but will still somehow show up to work. Donated a kidney. It's been 10 years but I'm still quite proud of myself. I can fit a whole orange in my mouth. It's either weird or creepy to tell a potential boss this. I stopped biting my fingernails. I've not self-harmed in almost 5 years, 10 more days and it will be 5 years exactly, despite having gone through what I would describe as the most difficult relationship I've been in and moments of mass stress. As others have said, it's not really relevant to be on my resume, but finding new coping mechanisms and ways to actually deal with my emotions has been a big thing for me. Being able to pull myself out of suicidal depression brought about by having dwarfism, one attempt to becoming a software developer with a steady income and my own flat smiley face. I can dislocate my shoulder blades and crush beer cans between them. I've had intercourse. When I was 15 my mom died and me and my brother moved in with my sister who already had 3 kids at the time. We were really struggling to the point where we were almost homeless, but because of my age I wasn't able to get a real job. I started selling weed and telling my sister that I had found a temp job washing dishes. I gave my sister pretty much all the money and with it she was able to move us out of a 1-bedroom to a 3-bedroom apartment. She ended up getting a boyfriend with a job so I was able to stop selling, got an official job about a year later and nobody in my family knows about any of this 6 years later. Would be cool if I could put it on my resume, especially now that it's recreationally legal in this state. I can cook minute rice in 58 seconds. I'm so efficient I can get all my work done, plan my next day and play on Reddit for hours. I can turn my leg around 180 degrees. I'm an older man that can still put both of his legs behind his head. This is lame, but my history knowledge. I have a decent sketch of Western history in my head from Romans to the Soviet Union and a loose knowledge of the present, but it's not really useful in any way. Not like the guy who trained his cat to use the toilet. And some people think it's impossible for a man to jerk off to completion 3 times in a row. Well, achievement unlocked. I've written comfortably more than 1 million words of hardcore fetish erotica, and made a living doing so for years. This does not feature on the CV, for obvious reasons. Living successfully with non-pathological MPD. I've gotten my doctorate, run transition housing in my spare time, keep a job and have an autoimmune condition, and all this while a group of us share a body. I think that's pretty cool, but it's not the type of thing you tell your employer. I made roughly $2,000 from being a man floozy exclusively towards older women during 1 year in college in order to pay off some charges from the financial aid office. I can dislocate my thumbs and make my eyes vibrate. I can avoid office romances. I have repairman effect. Poop just does not misbehave around me for the most part. If it does, I take it apart, and put it back together in the obvious way, and it mostly works again. Of course, the only reason this operates is that if things ever do misbehave, I really can actually troubleshoot and work out what to repair or replace or manufacture replacement parts for. When I was like 9 years old I made a full-court basketball shot. Just stepped up, shot it, made it. No one saw it, but it was one of my proudest moments. I graduated high school and college despite having a terrible chronic pain condition called chronic daily headache. Going through a divorce at age 20 and using it as motivation to get further and further in life instead of letting it ruin me. Being really freaking good at Mario Kart Y. Provider of the funkiest of baselines. Being able to kick my entire family's asses in Rummikub, family rules. Just 5 minutes ago, I won in the grand space of 1 turn after putting my first cards down. I held a lot of positions at a fraternity in college. The same fraternity then did some really bad stuff and got all over the news, so I have disassociated myself with that. However, I will bring it up during an interview and just say it was a club. I went viral once. My lack of gag reflex. Being rank 1 in World of Warcraft Arena during TBC on my rogue. I am doing a PhD, so there's enough stuff on my CV, but I am strangely proud of how well me and my team did in that game. I'm making an entire Gmod animation movie that's about an hour long. I took a pretty mean poop in December of last year. I mean like, huge, at least 9 inches in length and smelt like a rotting corpse. IDK what I ate, but it was defiantly not good, and should not be consumed by any human ever. I'm pretty good at kendama, a Japanese wooden skill toy that requires a lot of self-motivation and self-discipline. Hatsukaichi City in Hiroshima Prefecture is considered to be the birthplace of the modern Japanese kendama. Kendama is particularly loved in Japan, where national competitions are held. Japanese employers recognize applicants who have achieved higher dan rankings in kendama as being patient, persistent, and determined potential employees. A lot of people might view playing with a skill toy as a waste of time, especially in America, where you are expected to maximize your ability to profit as an individual. I mean, come on, if Japan can appreciate the effort that goes into getting good at kendama, then we should too. Kendama is a great way to hone your mind and body though, and shows that you are determined towards a goal that you have set for yourself. I had a full-on raiding guild in Vanilla WoW that was positive and fun. We got people to show up 3 times a week to raid for 3 hours at a time and did that for 3+ years with largely the same crew. Good times. Getting over self-harm, big step in life but not something employers would want to hear about. My fanfictions, AMVS, as well as the amount of viewers that each pulls in, unfortunately showing your employer your /FIC is probably not a great idea.